നമസ്കാരം ചായക്കുട്ടിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക് രണ്ടതിഥികളാണ് സാമൂഹ്യ പ്രവർത്തകയും കേരള മഹിളാ സാമൂഹ്യ പ്രോജക്ട് ഡയറക്ടറുമായ ഐശ്വര്യ ടീച്ചർ. ആദ്യം ഐശ്വര്യ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു ചായക്കുട്ടിലേക്ക്. വെൽക്കം ഐശ്വര്യ to the show.
Thank you.
Aishwarya, you're a poet, an author, a columnist, a teacher, an orator, and a student. Now, let me first ask you, when did you start writing, or when did you get into the literary scene?
I started writing when I was quite young. The first poem I wrote was when I was 3 years old. It was in my mother tongue, Malayalam. It was about a butterfly and had lots and lots of grammatical mistakes, but at that time, I wasn't a poet. I was just someone who wrote poetry. So it took me a lot of time to emerge from that image into someone who was actually writing and was called a poet. So I wrote my first English poem when I was in first grade, and that was quite childish. And then by the time I was 7 years old, my poetry got published in the Indian Express, in their school magazine, and later I started writing for other publications, journals and newspapers, which is how I started.
ഒരു കാലത്ത് ഐശ്വര്യ US-ൽ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു മാഗസീനിലെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രായം കുറഞ്ഞ എഴുത്തുകാരിയായിരുന്നു അല്ലേ? I mean, sitting in Kerala, you've been writing for a magazine which is getting published in the Texas, right?
I'm writing for a newspaper getting published in Texas every week. അത് കൂടാതെ jbstillwater.com എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു വെബ്സൈറ്റിൽ ഞാൻ യങ്ങസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പോയറ്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. I was a guest poet, and I was among people. They were really established poets, and they would write especially well, and I was quite lucky to be part of such a group. And I got lots of mentors from that side, especially Ms. Janet Brennan, who was the chief editor of Casa de Snapdragon, a publishing company she owned in New Mexico. And initially she planned to publish my book, but there were problems with my age and legalities in the USA, so I was not able to publish my book there. That's how we came up with the plan to publish it in India, and Cyberwit came out, and they said that they were interested in publishing my book.
ഐശ്വര്യ രണ്ട് ഭാഷയും ഒരേപോലെ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തി കൂടിയാണ്. മലയാളത്തിലും എഴുതുന്നുണ്ടോ ഐശ്വര്യ?
മലയാളത്തിലും ചെറുതായിട്ട് എഴുതുന്നുണ്ട്, ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ അത്രയും എഴുതുന്നില്ല.
കൂടുതലും കവിതകളാണോ?
ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ കൂടുതലായിട്ടും എഴുതുന്നത് ആർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ആണ്. അത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണ് ഞാൻ എഴുതുന്നത്. എല്ലാ ആഴ്ചയിലും ഓരോ ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ ഞാൻ എഴുതാറുണ്ട്. അത് ടെക്സസിലാണ് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്.
So what subjects actually excite you?
I try to focus on different kind of subjects. ചിലപ്പോൾ social issues ആയിരിക്കും എഴുതുന്നത്, ചിലപ്പോൾ teenage issues ആയിരിക്കും എഴുതുന്നത്, ചിലപ്പോൾ it would be just thoughts that come to me. So I used to write in the perspective of a fly on the wall. My articles would be narrated by a fly. I used to call him Mr. Fly. Okay. And he would sit on a wall, and then he would talk about the different types of people he sees. So my audience range from Americans to people from different countries, so that they are always interested in reading about India and my culture and how teenagers work here. Sometimes I get NRI students who talk to me about how different life is there, and sometimes they even miss being in India because they only come here when they have to talk to their grandparents. So I write about the kind of life we lead here and the kind of problems that we face, and then it's kind of nice to talk about it because we get a lot of different readers ranging from different age groups, and we get lots of insight.
So what genre of books you follow?
I like fiction a lot as well as non-fiction. So I read everything ranging from autobiographies, thriller books, crime, all that.
Is there any one particular author who's your favorite?
In poetry, I love Wordsworth, Shakespeare, John Donne. I love their poetry. And when it comes to writing, I like Khaled Hosseini, Hanan al-Sheikh. I love their books, and especially Gabriel Garcia Marquez is my favorite.
Yeah, he's been a legend. ഐശ്വര്യ ഈ ചെറിയ പ്രായത്തിൽ പഠിപ്പിക്കുക കൂടെ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ഒരു അധ്യാപിക കൂടെയാണ് ഐശ്വര്യ. സോ where do you teach and whom do you teach?
I have an English institution at my house. I teach at my home. And also, I go out to different institutions when they invite me and teach there. I've been to different schools and different colleges where I've been asked to take classes. and I get different kinds for it. Sometimes I get teachers, sometimes I get students. So I plan my classes according to the kind of students that I get.
So you're a teacher and a student yourself. So which role do you kind of engage yourself completely with?
I find that both of these roles are very similar, or if I could say it's the same, because it's me. Both of us learn. It's a mutual kind of learning that's taking place. When I'm a teacher, it's not just me who's teaching, because I'm interacting with different students, and we come up with different ideas that I might be wrong sometimes, and they will be right. So it's more like a correction of mistakes and learning something new. So even when I'm a student or a teacher, I'm learning more and more.
You are also very comfortable with contemporary subjects, because I was going through your website and your blogs. So what kind of instigates you to write about contemporary subjects?
That's probably because I read a newspaper every day. I can't start my day without a newspaper, because I like to be in touch with everything that's happening. And apart from that, I kind of have discussions with other people, so we come up with lots of ideas. Sometimes my friends come up with topics they want me to write, because they feel that these are things that should be, taken out into the public and talked about. That motivates me into doing something. Also, I feel that as someone very young, my thoughts might be very different from someone older and more experienced. So sometimes I like to compare what I've been thinking over the years. For example, what I wrote 2 years ago may not be the way I'm writing now. And the way I thought 2 years ago is not the way I'm thinking now.
So how do you evaluate your journey?
I always look back and see how I've improved. So it's been a constant improvisation. There's always room for improvement. So I look at how I've been writing before, and then I work on it. I look at how I've changed and evaluate whether it's in a good way or a bad way, and I try to change.
Is there somebody who's a strong critic of your writing?
My parents. Always my parents first. Because especially my father, who he gives me a lot of insight into my topics, the way I write. He doesn't want to interfere in the way I write, but he does give me a lot of insight and criticism in a very good way. He always, keeps me on the ground. And my mother, I always show things I write to her. She reads it first. And I feel this kind of satisfaction when she reads it.
So Aishwarya ഒരു ചെറിയ ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ നിന്നാണ് വരുന്നത് അല്ലേ? And then you have reached so far and you've achieved so much in life. Now,
I was in kindergarten, where I was kind of humiliated in front of my whole class because I did not know English. That forced me, that gave me the challenge to start working and learning English. And then I realized that people did not give so much importance to this language, which was kind of like a building factor in society right now, because I saw a lot of people who would go to interviews and would not get a job because they did not know English. And they started asking my help, and then I came up with the idea of starting an institution in my house along with my then teacher, Mr. Ramdas, who passed away a few years ago. He was a very good teacher, and he actually gave me classes on intonation and how to speak properly. He was my first teacher on oration, along with Mr. Madhavan Nair. Both of them are very good teachers. So we started this institution at my house, and I got 60 students in my first year who, first summer actually, and then they told me that they were benefited by the classes they had, because I used to complete it with grammar as well as an hour of speaking, because I felt that you can only learn a language if you're speaking it.
Exactly.
കാതിൽ വീഴുന്നതേ നമുക്ക് നാവിൽ വരുള്ളൂ. അതുകൊണ്ട് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു system I developed, where I had games so that I would not bore people, and I would give them books to learn, and I would follow different books so that they would be benefited by it.
ഐശ്വര്യമായുള്ള ഈ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് കോൺവെർസേഷൻ തുടരും. ഒരു കൊമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ ബ്രേക്കിംഗ് സ്റ്റേഷൻ. Stay tuned.
വിഷുവിന്റെ സമ്പൽ സമൃദ്ധിയെ ഈസ്റ്ററിന്റെ
Aishwarya, you are also an exceptional orator, I'm told. Okay. കുറെ സദസ്സുകളിൽ പ്രസംഗിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. Given a number of speeches. So, ഈ പ്രായം കുറവായ കാരണം ഓഡിയൻസിന്റെ റെസ്പോൺസ് പലപ്പോഴും എങ്ങനെയാണ്?
Initially, they used to regard me with a kind of suspicion. They were curious as to how I would perform on stage. Initially, I would be first time I would go on a stage, I would be very scared. But then later on, as I became used to it, I realized that people accepted me as time went by, and they looked forward to hearing me speak. And then afterwards, I usually have interactions with the audience that I have. Mostly, they would be college students, and they would come to me and we would talk about what we discussed in a speech. And if they felt like contradicting what I said, they would ask me why I proved a certain point, or why I talked about certain things. So I think people. I've been lucky enough to be considered as an equal when it comes to speeches, because they don't look down upon me, judge me beforehand right now. But initially, yes, it was there, because I was, say, 11 years old, 12 years old, and I do not know what they expected to hear.
So apart from all this, you're a painter too, Alain.
I love things.
So how do you manage time? I mean, you're a poet, a writer, a narrator, a painter, a teacher. So where do you find time from?
Well, I'm more of an instinct kind of person, where I sometimes I feel like painting, I go paint. I feel like writing, I go write. So my parents have never forced me to study at a specific time, or yes, I have a schedule, but it's not. As long as I do everything during the schedule, inside the schedule, it's fine.
So do you have a timetable that you follow, or
not a very strict timetable, just an outline where I spend such and such time for some things like reading newspapers.
ഐശ്വര്യയുടെ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്ത പുസ്തകങ്ങൾ ഏതൊക്കെയാണ്?
ഞാൻ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്ത ഒരു ബുക്ക് ദ ക്രസന്റ് സ്മൈൽ ആണ്. അതൊരു പോയട്രി കളക്ഷൻ ആണ്. 41 കവിതകളാണ് അതിനകത്തുള്ളത്. ഞാൻ 5 വയസ്സ് മുതൽ വരെ എഴുതിയ കവിതകളാണ്. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ 2 നോവൽസ് എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എഴുതുന്നത് ടിൽ സൺഡൗൺ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു നോവലാണ്. അത് ടെററിസത്തെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഉള്ള ഒരെണ്ണമാണ്. പിന്നെ ഒരെണ്ണം ഇറ്റ്സ് കോൾഡ് ഓൺജനു. It's about a very unsophisticated woman. She's living in എന്റെ ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ താമസിക്കുന്നത്. എന്റെ ഗ്രാമത്തിലാണ് സെറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. എന്റെ അച്ഛനും അമ്മയും പറഞ്ഞു തന്നിട്ടുള്ള കഥകൾ വെച്ചിട്ട് എഴുതുന്നതാണ് ആ കഥ.
Your other passion is your love for foreign languages, and
I love foreign languages. Yes, I love learning them. It kind of gives me a very misty. I don't know.
How many languages do you know?
I'm learning 11 languages.
Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah, apart from English, Hindi, and Malayalam, next year I'm going to take my fluency test in Spanish, French, Italian, and German. I write in German also. I love German language and Spanish especially.
Excellent. Actually, ഞാൻ വാർത്തയിൽ വായിച്ചതായിരുന്നു. You wrote a letter to the Vice Chancellor, അല്ലേ?
Yes.
So can you give me a background to that?
Yeah, that's because I started reading reports of students getting into universities even before they completed college. And especially about this one student who got her MBBS into her 3 months of 11th grade. So that kind of inspired me to ask for a BA English Literature course, because normally it is always limited to science subjects. So that's why I wrote to the VC. Actually, I wrote to mostly all universities in India, but the only person who replied was Dr. Abdul Salam from Calicut University. I salute him for it, because that's the only reply I got. And then he was very supportive also, because he said if I prove to be a capable person, then he would try for something like that. And then I went for a meeting with the VC and the Dean of Languages, Dr. Bashir, who was also really supportive. Both of them kind of they were instrumental in bringing out this new rule, which gave out the age bar and the qualifications bar. So now anybody who is qualifiable for it can go for a college degree in English or something of the sort. So I'm really happy about this, because I've been trying for this. I feel that education should not be limited to these age bars. At one point of time, I felt that school was just an excuse older people made to confine young people for 15 years or 20 years into 4 walls.
Okay, Aishwarya, I think, I feel really honored to have spent this quality time with you, to know more about you. We would definitely be calling you back. May you reach better heights, and may all your dreams come true. Exceptional talent ആണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ കണ്ടത്. ഐശ്വര്യ, താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച് ഫോർ ബീങ് പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ചായക്കൂട്ട്. നമ്മുടെ അടുത്ത അതിഥി സാമൂഹ്യ പ്രവർത്തക ശ്രീ ഉഷ പുനത്തിലാണ്. ശ്രീ ഉഷയുടെ പ്രവർത്തന മേഖല പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തുന്ന ഒരു ലഘുചിത്രം